Let's save the personal chat about me personally for the end of the reaction video so that anyone that doesn't care doesn't have to watch that part. Let's just jump straight into episode 3 since I didn't do that last week of Skinny Girl in Transit, and then we'll talk about episode 4, okay? So, episode 3, Mohammed behaved irresponsibly, in my opinion. I think it was very irresponsible of him to have invited Shalewa to that party with his family without telling his family prior, without his family's knowledge. They weren't even expecting her. That's why she wasn't well received. He hadn't dealt with his family. And it was even much more irresponsible of him to have left her there by herself, no matter the circumstances. No matter the circumstances, you can't claim to love someone with your mouth and then your actions are saying something different. You knew she wasn't wanted there. You knew they didn't like her, and because you wanted an audience with your father, you left her there. Like, make it make sense. And like I said, I didn't think Shalewa should have even gone to that party in the first place, but I think she also needed to see, to get like a full picture and actually experience, what was awaiting her potentially, if she had moved forward with that relationship. So I think in the long run, it worked out for her. Derin must be going through something, okay? Because at Derin's age, how can you be so clueless? And it's as if she's dealing with something and she's just decided to block it off and just, like she's acting as if she's okay, but she's not okay. But that whole thing of showing up, entering without knocking, acting as if, and then the whole talk about wanting a baby. It seems like, like, well, are you okay? Because everything just seems so random and not thought through. Meanwhile, was this innocence, especially during that campus scene where she was talking to the Gen Zs and all of that, it was actually quite cute. Like, you can, someone might think, oh, it's supposed to be like a Jennifer kind of thing, but I didn't see it as a Jennifer kind of thing. To me, I was just like, oh, she's so cute. That was what I kept thinking. Because she wasn't trying to be what she wasn't. She was just innocent and just trying to make friends and belong. And her innocence was just showing through her actions and her words. And I thought she was just so cute. So we don't know much about Tito enough for me to say she's not a good friend. So I'm not going to say Tito is not a good friend to Shalewa. However, in several instances, she's behaved in questionable ways. Like if my best friend was behaving that in certain ways or making certain decisions on my behalf repeatedly. And these are decisions that, they're maybe not particularly helpful to me. I'll start to question that friendship. So I'm not saying she's a bad friend, but in this particular episode, I thought that she gave very bad advice to to Shalewa, and I'm glad Shalewa did not take her advice because that was just such bad advice. You can't say just because you love him and you love her, that's it. Love conquers all things. I'm sorry. What? Love can conquer all things. But when the person that claims to love you is badly behaved, you don't understand. When they say love conquers all things, it's like saying that I'm not claiming to be an expert in love, but I'm saying that if Mohammed loved Shalewa as much as he claims to, there's so many things he has done or he's been doing that he would not do, that he would think about, he would give himself brain about, and particularly, which I'll get to shortly, he would talk to her more, but I'll get to get to that shortly. But so in my opinion, I didn't think Tito's advice was good advice. Which is going to lead me to saying that Mohammed only hears himself. I feel like he only like he thinks about it in his head, comes to a decision, says what he wants to say, and no matter what Shalewa is saying or what is going on around him, it is what he has prepared in his mind that he's still going to, like, he has a script that he's following, as if he only hears himself, he doesn't hear Shalewa. Because even when Shalewa was talking to him and he just kept saying, well, I mean, I did it for us, this wasn't the reaction I was about to expect. Are you listening? Why didn't you talk to me first? Why didn't we have a conversation first? We have greater issues beyond your dad not liking me. Shalewa is clearly not over the hurt of the whole, Farida thing and all of that. And, she's in therapy as well. So she has her own issues. But I genuinely love Shalewa's growth and realization of the fact that Mohammed has been a moral compass all this while. Because let's don't forget, Shalewa is not a saint either. When Shalewa was introduced to us, she was dating a married man. Do you get? So she's also gone through so many things in her life. And Mohammed has been that, like, even Mohammed needs to look inwards, and I think it's just a case of familiar love, like Shalewa said, and it's just comfortable because it's not because it's good. So I'm glad that Shalewa ended that relationship because, like she said, if she had proceeded, he would have resented her down the line, especially seeing how she is with her own family. She can't take happily or heartedly take another man from his own family, So I really like it. To wrap up episode 3, Shalewa's growth through these years is actually quite admirable, and it's one of my favorite things about Skinny Girl in Transit. Just, seeing her go through these different seasons and coming to herself. It's so far, I really like it. I really, really like it. Moving on to episode 4 and moving on to Didi and Editi, another favorite couple of mine in Skinny Girl in Transit. I think it's very strange that Didi went this long without telling Editi that she didn't want kids. Like, why would you drag it out for so long? That's not, even if the person already has 2 kids, do you know if they want 10? Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, you can't, that's not information that you withhold, especially when things are starting to get serious and you see how this person is looking at you this. I mean, you guys are planning to get married and now you're just telling him that you don't want kids. That's a big deal. You shouldn't even get into a relationship in the first place when you know that with someone that wants kids, when you know that you don't want kids. Why would you waste someone's time like that? That's like a first date conversation. Do you want children? How many children do you want? Per chance, do you want 10? I can only afford to give you 1. Do you understand? But I do love Didi and Editi's family dynamic, with the kids. They're just a breath of fresh air in this entire series. I really enjoyed their scenes when they're all together. Shalewa's heartbreak is heartbreaking. Like, seeing her, I don't think we've seen Shalewa this broken in this entire series. I mean, if we have, then I've forgotten. But just seeing her this broken was actually quite heartbreaking. And seeing Tony Umez, I mean, it looks so good. Like, it looks really good. It was good to see him. Like, that's our childhood, right there. Well, I say our because we are millennial. We are not Gen Z. We are not the Moses people. But seeing Tony Umez was actually quite refreshing. It was so good to see him. It looks really, really good. I actually laughed out loud, like proper lemao, when what's her name? Tiwa walked into that boardroom with the baby, looking all dressed up and everything, and she's like, "My name is Tiwa Macaulay. I'm one of the directors of the company." I said, so see, that's it. So I'm not here as wife, even though I am. I'm not here as mom, even though I am. I'm here as one of the directors of this company. So I'll be sitting in on this meeting. I'm sorry I'm late. Talk about marking your territory and taking your place at the edge of the table. And what I loved even more was Mide's reaction, like how it just went straight, said hi, carried the baby. There was no, what are you doing here? Oh, I wasn't expecting you. Nothing like that. So that only elevated her even more. Like, oh, of course, she has every right to be here. That was really good. That scene with Derin looking for a sperm donor. I mean, come on now. And then Kule entering the scene. When I saw Kule, I was like, hey, our groom. Our groom. It's so good to see him. I mean, that's the first I know they shot this way before and whatnot, but I mean, we haven't seen him in a project since he got married. We just got married like barely 2 weeks or so ago. So I know I'm overreacting, but it was good to see him very briefly. Hopefully, we'll be seeing more of him in future episodes. I mean, looks like he's going to become the new potential love interest for what's her name? Derin. And last but definitely not the least, let me tell you guys, what's her name? Shalewa. Shalewa has head of men. Or is it head for men? In Yoruba, they will say, Olori Okunrin. There are just some women that just attract men. Either she has head for men or she's in a prime and she's just blooming. You know, there's that season where the flower is blooming on bloom. So either of the two, is it actually has head for men? Because now we already have this doctor that is speaking spring with this very fine accent and whatnot, and even Tiwa is looking like okay. You know, but either that or she's just in a blooming season and bloom away, Shalewa, bloom away. He'll be happy and we look forward to seeing episode 5. Okay? Okay. So if you're still here for the personal gist, there's actually nothing much going on. It's just like up here. I have stuff going on up here. So yeah. That's the best way I can put it. That's why I didn't show up last week. Because I got my period and it was just really stressful. When this series started 7 years ago now, it's been 7 years. You know, I was still very much single. Still, you know, I had all the time to watch, shoot, edit, post, right? This is 7 years later, you know. Things are not the same to the glory of God. So trying to fit my life into and then the time difference as well. So when it started 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I was still in Nigeria. So I had the time to quickly watch, you know, and all of that because it was the same time zone. Now when it drops, I'm still sleeping. Thank you for watching the little chat, the little chit chat. I love you so much. I'll see you again very, very soon. Remain the God and God bless you. Mwah. Bye.